Okay, so we've been living in the Airstream for about a month now. So far, so good. Everything's going pretty well for one little exception. We had a poop problem a couple weeks ago that we finally figured out how to solve, and we use a method called the GEO method. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what we do to keep both our black tank clean and also our sewer hose clean. So first things first, how do we know when black water needs to be flushed? Well, we come over here to our handy dandy little system monitor. We have a red blinking light next to the black tank. So that means the tank is pretty full and it needs to be emptied. These things are notoriously not accurate, but they do give you a general frame of reference regarding how full the tank is. So that sucker is blinking red. We need to do something right now. Okay, so we're out here by the tank flush and we have our sewer hose here. So we're gonna do a few things. We're gonna drain the black tank, we're gonna drain the gray tank, and we're also going to wash out the black tank with some fresh water. So let me show you how all that's done. The trick to keeping your sewer hose clean is to always release the black water first, then release the gray water. The gray water will essentially flush out all the poopy gunk from your black water that gets into the hose. So in our trailer, this is a 2005 Airstream Classic, the black is on the left and the gray is on the right. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna release all that poopy black water. So let's go. So with a hose this big, this sewer hose, the black tank will drain pretty quickly. It's only going to take maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes max, even with a full black tank in there, which it is. And we won't show you the black water coming out because that's probably not why you've tuned into this video. Okay, so our black water is completely drained. You're still going to have some black water here in this sewer hose. So I'm going to close up the black tank and then release the gray water. And the gray water will flush out this entire sewer hose so it's nice and clean on the inside. So the trick here is some people keep their gray tank completely opened when they're hooked up to sewer. Obviously, if you do that, you will not be able to flush out your sewer hose quite as easily. You'll have to spray some water back into the tank, then release it once more. So I've gotten into the habit over the last month of just keeping the black tank closed, and when we flush black, we flush gray as well. So once gray tank is completely drained, we close it back up, and now both our black is closed, our gray is closed, our sewer line is nice and clean. Now we can go back inside and I can show you what we do to make the GEO method work for us. Alright, so we're back inside. Let's take a look at our meter one more time. All greens, and as we say here in the RV community, green means go. So follow me back to the bathroom and we'll show you how we get this process started. Okay, so we're back here in the bathroom in our Airstream, and we've switched to a wide angle lens here, as you can probably tell, because we want to show you everything in here, but this is a bit of a small space. So if you haven't seen an RV toilet, this is a very typical RV toilet. There isn't a traditional handle here on a commode. It's a lot more streamlined. I mean, it works just like a regular toilet would. The flusher is down here. You just push this down, water will come into the bowl, and the very bottom of the toilet will open up to release whatever you just did in that toilet down into our black tank. So at this point, we have an empty black tank, and we are going to take you through what we do to make the GEO method work. So the very first thing we do is flush the toilet a couple times to put a base level of water in the tank, because we don't want it to be dry with the chemicals that we are just about ready to add. Okay, so let's lift up the lid, and I'm going to just do this with my hand. I would traditionally do this with my foot, of course, but for the purposes of this video, there's one flush. And I'm going to let the water come up about 3/4 of the way within the toilet itself. Then I'm going to flush again. Let a good amount of water down, then I'm going to close it back up a little bit, So the bottom of the toilet is now sealed, so now I'm filling the toilet back up with water. Okay, so now we have about 2 toiletfuls of water in our black tank down below. So now the first step is to add some water softener to our bowl. Now, especially here in Arizona, we have a very typical problem, hard water, which actually makes it easier for solids to stick to the side of your black tank, and that's really what causes the stink problem, which we were having a couple weeks ago. So, very first step, pick up some water softener from almost any grocery store. Ours looks like this. It's just a liquid water softener from Calgon. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a couple topfuls of water softener directly into our toilet bowl. Then I'm going to take our little handy dandy toilet brush here, wash it around a little bit, clean the bowl, then flush it again with another full toilet bowl full of water to really let it work down there in the black tank with a good base of water. There's one. And they say you only need one based on the size of your black tank, but we add a little bit extra just to make sure. The added benefit of all this is the water softener will also clean your toilet bowl a little bit as well. All right. You have a toilet bowl full of soft water. I'm going to flush all that down, then I'm going to fill the toilet bowl up about 3/4 of the way again. And then I'm going to flush that down as well. So now at this point we just have regular fresh water straight from the city water source. There we go, now we have about 3/4. Flush one more time. Okay, now we have a full toilet bowl of water again. So the water softener that we just put down is going to help prevent the solids from sticking to the side of the tank. But now what we're going to do is we're going to add some really easy traditional dish soap, Dawn dish soap, directly into the bowl itself. That will help to clean the black tank, sanitize it a bit, as well as give it a more pleasant smell. Regular Dawn dish soap, add a little bit in there. Take your same toilet brush, swish it around, and we're going to do a little bit more toilet bowl cleaning. Alright, now we have a toilet bowl full of Dawn dish soap, and we're going to flush this down. I'm sure you're starting to see a pattern here. Fill it back up about 3/4 of the way, and then flush it down one more time. There we go. Pull it back up 1/2 to 3/4, and then you're done for the first application after you flush black. Now when the toilet gets, or the black water rather, gets about halfway full in the tank down below, we usually add a little bit of bleach to the toilet bowl. We go through the same process, fill it up about 3/4 if it's not already full, and flush that down. Flush it down again with just regular fresh water to get some bleach down in there to help with the odors and make sure that everything stays relatively clean down there and a lot less smelly. All right, so now that we've brought you through the process, that we take a couple of additional points. First, you may not have to do this every single time you empty your black tank. We did because we bought this trailer used. We're not exactly sure how dirty that black tank was, and we were clearly seeing, or smelling, I guess in our case, signs that there was a lot of gunk down there. So we're going to be doing this pretty much every time we empty our black tank for a while, until we're confident that the smell will never return. And here in Arizona, it's just getting up to the summer, so the hotter the temperatures are, the more that material will ferment, if you will, within the black tank. So the more important this process will be. But depending on your area and how hard or soft your water is, Again, you may not have to do this every single time. And in general, the more water that you flush with, the better it's going to be in terms of smell and cleanliness. If you have a particularly heavy movement within the toilet, maybe an extra flush after, if you're hooked up to city water, is might be appropriate. So in general, if you have water available, the more water, the better. We do plan on doing a lot of boondocking in the future, so we're not going to have that luxury, and if you do a lot of boondocking, you probably don't have that luxury either, so you're just going to have to do the best you can. When you are hooked up to city water, use a little bit more water, add some chemicals in, make sure you start from a good, fresh, clean base before you head out into the middle of nowhere and truly have some fun out in nature. So that's it. I hope you learned something. That's how we implement the GEO method here in our Airstream. Thanks for watching, and if you want to see more videos, be sure to subscribe to this channel, A Stream in Life, or visit the blog at astreaminlife.com. Thanks again.